I have a really, really cool crew up here, which now should everybody please say hi and introduce yourself, what you do, who you are. Maybe starting with Trig.
Hello, I'm Trig Fordost. I do visuals for Dance TV. I make some shows, 60-minute shows monthly, and I do a lot of visuals in clubs, on fashion shows. I like the connection between music and visuals, my main topic.
I'm Guillaume. I'm a product manager at Dance TV and some other companies. I've been working with music, marketing and technology for the past 10 years. So I'm going to try to give you some marketing insights with videos today.
I'm Robert Owens. I'm best known for being in a group, Fingers Inc. from the past, or early origins of house music. I was there at the beginning with Frankie Knuckles and a bunch of other individuals from that genre of music.
I'm Isabel. I'm working in the music industry for around 12 years. Started my own booking and event company called Belisa in 2016. And I'm also working as a moderator and having my own video and interview platform called Warm Up Berlin.
That Dance TV has also been co-publishing.
Exactly.
Very happy and excited about those interviews.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
So, now that you know who we are also very excited to know who you are. And we have a few funny questions. Don't be scared, we're not going to bring you on stage, so don't worry. Are there any DJs out there? Yeah, cool. Are there any booking agents, marketing people out there? Okay. Nice. See, this is a nice group already. We knew these people would come, didn't we? Yeah.
Some promoter or event manager here?
Managers, yeah.
Must be. Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Look. This
Nice.
is a good group.
Everybody is represented. I have another question for you guys. Who amongst yourselves is making video content to promote your music business in any way? Keep your hands up and keep it up if you feel like you're having success with that video material to grow your music business today. Okay, some are hesitant, I see. Well, hopefully you're going to get some interesting insights there. So let's take a step back first and just to give a frame to that conversation. One thing you already all know about is video is huge nowadays, and just a little stat to show you that. Well, it's down there, but in 2023, people spend in average 17 hours per week watching online video content. So definitely, if you're not doing that already, that's something that you should be considering. And so maybe to start with that conversation, Robert, I'm interested to have your perspective on, you've been there for a long time now.
Yes,
Can you
I'm
describe
an old
how it
relic in this
evolved?
business.
Can you describe how it evolved and how video has become more and more important in your activity as a musician?
My involvement in the industry stems from me coming over to Europe. First, probably in England. I came there in the early period of house with the label Trax Music. And a lot of it was Marshall Jefferson, Adonis, a bunch of artists was on that first tour with Frankie Knuckles and us as Fingers Inc. And we just went across to Europe because they more embraced the whole house system over in Europe a lot faster than they did in America. They embraced it in America, but it was just almost overwhelming coming to Europe. And I think the visual thing for us was the most important factor back then. And this is maybe like 87, you know, when we first came over. And, you know, I was even coming here to Germany in the early periods. Maybe even 85, I think, was the first period. So again, the visual thing of us just being, the presence of us being there was more important than the whole video concept of things, you know. I think that's just evolved now in recent years, you know, and I'm just coming up to date in that area myself, you know, and constantly learning, you know, about the whole social media thing and being hands-on involved. I've always been kind of sheltered by managements and everything that kind of suppressed me from actually knowing a lot about what was going on. You know, it's like, oh, you don't need to know this. You need to just focus on performing, focus on what you're wearing. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, but what about that and what about this? You know, so I'm
You don't listen to the managers.
now. You know, I'm
Never
grateful
listen
now that
to
I'm more
managers.
hands-on with everything, you know, so. In short, you know, I'm learning, you know, about the present formats in today's, you know, system of visuals things.
Well, thank you. Isabelle, you were telling me earlier that video has become a big part of your daily activities and taking you quite some time.
Yes, that's true. I mean, for me, it became a super important topic because as a booking and event agency, it's most important for me now to create attention for my artists. And it's really helpful because I can generate bookings through social media, which means if my artists are active or if I have a lot of content and I'm sharing it with the crowd out there, it's more interesting for some promoter to book my artist because nowadays, which is also sometimes a bit sad, you can be a great musician and make amazing music in your studio, but if you don't share it in social media, nobody will know about it. And unfortunately, also a lot of people are not really interested in you if there's not a lot going on. So it has a bit of positive and a negative aspect, I think, for me, but I just see that it's really helpful to generate more bookings, and this is what I'm doing, trying to get...
It's impossible to do without somehow.
Yeah,
nowadays.
exactly. So I'm just trying to use it the positive way for us.
Karina and Trig, as artists, maybe, how did video become important to promote yourself too?
Well, definitely video catches way more attention on the socials than static artwork, I think. Well, based on my own results, I can say that. On the other hand, I do think there are some artists still in the world who are not doing it, and, you know, they're still doing great. Maybe, like, for a while, you know, the face of Moodymann was completely covered. We never knew who he was. And Moodymann is Moodymann because, I mean, his production, his music stands for itself, and no matter what. Right now we have a Detroit Movement Festival, so I guess it was a good moment to mention him. Yeah.
So you should consider it, but music is still at the heart of everything, and you should be focusing
I
on your
think
music
that
first.
yes, I will say that. Of course, everything is helpful. If you do more, you can achieve more. If you are doing great video content and generally publishing a lot of things, consequence is also very important in this case, because if you just do it once in a while, maybe that's not going to work. But I do still believe that the music is the essence of things, and yeah, if you do good stuff, it will, you know, you have, that's the most important thing. So
Be like that,
should be, right?
Yeah, should be.
Cool. Well, going a bit deeper into the impact of those video content on social media, about the music specifically, it's all about storytelling, right? And to find a new vector to convey your music, to convey the feelings that you want to represent with your music here. And another quick statistics just to show you how impactful this is. In 2021, 75% of the top charts were driven by TikTok successes. So this is definitely a driving force. If you manage to get your music seen and heard through those social media platforms, you're going to notice an impact on your music streams on Spotify or any other platforms that you're distributing onto. So there is often, when we look at TikTok videos, we often think about influencers doing funny videos, funny content, and there is a bad perception, usually what I hear from artists, I don't want to become an influencer, I want to keep my music for myself, and there's been a big difference between the two. But I feel that in both those jobs, actually, there is that storytelling aspect, and you can leverage that and learn from those influencers to apply specifically to what you want to convey to people. So I was talking with Trig before about storytelling. You were first a musician, a DJ, and then you went into video. Maybe you can tell us more about that and how do these two things connect?
So my thing is that I think music and pictures belong together somehow. So I was a graphic designer in the 80s. I started to do record covers. And it was always like the picture it's like a story in the music. It's intention, the intention of the music. This is what I like to transport. And I think it's like a door also when I'm on parties and do visuals the whole night as a VJ artist. I open a door to go into the music. Because some people, they have not a big connection in music. I'm a musician too. And I can introduce them with the pictures. Because picture, I think the people are more open to picture than to music, you know, the understanding. So it's like storytelling, or it's a picture what you can remember something. And this is my interest. I think therefore you can have also like a 10, 20-second clip with a picture and you remember and you get more like the intention of the music.
Isabel, also we were talking about this topic before. You're having a hard time sometimes to convince your artists to get into that for the same reasons?
Yeah, I mean, in our case, it's a bit different because you're like doing creative, artistical videos. We are mostly trying to use content from the festivals or from the club. Also, what we are doing, basically we are focusing on musical content, like studio content, jamming sessions, or live videos from the club, which is a bit different from the part of what influencers are doing, because they're basically sharing their whole life. In my crew, the artists are not really feeling comfortable with like making videos of them or sharing too many
Eating
private
a
stuff.
shrimp now,
Yeah,
shrimp cocktail.
exactly, stuff like that. I know it's successful, and also people want to be close to the artist and have some insights of their private lives. But we really try to focus on the job we're doing, the passion, just the music itself, and that's what we want to spread to the outer world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think that maybe it's not necessary to do as much content as the influencers are doing, because they're basically like all over the place all the time, right? The successful ones. Maybe it's better to do less, but way more meaningful and just consequent, you know, like consequent in time. So
I mean, you're also still a musician, which means, in my opinion, you should focus on being in the studio, doing some productive stuff, playing your gigs and traveling around. And then, of course, you can document that. But at the end, we're musicians, or not me, but my gang, and not influencer in that kind of sense. Like
Isabel, no posting pictures of cats.
No.
Cool. Moving into the next topic, so we're going to try to give you some ingredients for success. So one of the things that I say to people that I work with trying to grow their music business, or some other things, because that's actually true for every single platform. I can see my slides in here. So the first thing, it's about making videos that people will want to watch. And how do you do that? Well, by understanding your audience. Who are you talking to? What are those people following you expecting from you? What value can you bring them? And I feel like a lot of people in general feel like they have nothing to say or they have nothing to give away to that. And you're probably wrong. There is always something that you can dig a bit deeper and express that. And survey your audience. Ask them what they are looking for you to be saying so that you can find those interesting ideas. The second pillar of making good video content is about making people want to watch. This is the right one. Start watching, sorry. So this is the big story about thumbnails. Are very important on YouTube. The click-through rate is one of the most important aspects and what will push the algorithm to share your content to some other people. So also about the framing. People are doom scrolling all the time. I'm pretty sure you spend hours.
Excuse me, I'll interrupt you.
Sorry.
The thumbnail means like the
picture.
image, the picture that represents the video. If that one looks boring or dark or like doesn't look interesting at all, the chance that somebody will click on the video and look at it goes down.
That works for YouTube on YouTube videos, apologies. But on Reels and TikToks, people are just doom scrolling like this. And you need to find that very first frame, that very first second. You have 2 seconds to catch their attention. And if they skip you, the algorithm is not going to push you. So be very, very thoughtful about what this
Beginning.
that beginning is. And finally, and then I'll ask your opinions about that, but another important factor for the algorithm on all platforms is the watch time. So you need to be very aware and careful about how long can you retain your audience. Never go overboard. Cut every single thing that you that seems boring. Test your videos with other people too. Just let them watch it. And especially at the end of the day, we have amazing analytics on all those platforms, right? You have graphs, and they are not here just to be pretty. They are there for you to understand what you're doing, what is going okay, what is going wrong, and so you can adapt from that. It's okay to fail, especially on your first video, but it's extremely important to get back to it, look what happens, and adjust the strategy depending on this. And there is no one recipe for everyone. It really depends on your content, on who you are, the message you're trying to convey, but leverage those tools to make sure that you improve every single time you're publishing a video. That was my advice. As a product and marketing manager, what are you guys feeling about this? Do you have any ingredients and recipes for success with video? Go ahead, sure.
I think it's super important to first find out for yourself what makes you special or maybe different. Also, for example, as an artist, you have to find it out. Is it because of your productions? Is it because you're, I don't know, playing vinyl on 3 decks or 4 hours live sets? Just find it out for yourself and focus on that and promote that. And also, of course, you can work on your visual identity, which means there are so many tools out there you can use. You can, for example, choose 2 certain colors which should define your look, like black or white and black or red. You can use certain filters and a lot of frames, and Canva is, for example, a good app for that.
Oh yeah.
And then, for example, you can design your own frames which are matching your logo or your label, and like this you can set up your own kind of identity on your feed. And then, of course, as I said before, the content you're spreading needs to be something that makes you, I don't know, just different.
Definitely, this is something I've been watching Robert do for a while. You have a lot of video content, and it's
just
really
coming up to
special.
date in this area. I said I've been kind of sheltered away from it for a while, and I think it's different perspectives here because often as an artist traveling and DJing and performing constantly, a lot of the clubs, they send you back content from their party and say, can you re-promote this? Or they'll ask me to just do a personal clip live where I'm talking about where I'm going to and stuff. So it's looking at it from that perspective. And then I've toured with Cold Cut to London Electricity, all different types of groups. And then they have the whole visual concept that they're doing that sometimes it feels like they're putting in hundreds of thousands of pounds in just the visual aspect that goes behind the whole production, as well as the live visual thing with us there as artists, so it's the 2 different concepts. I'm here, we're actually 3, and you're talking about, from one perspective, the artist actually going on and promoting themselves, or a label going on and promoting themselves from that angle. So I'm hearing it from different, I'm getting advice. I feel like I'm here getting a school lesson as well, But, it's these different entities that all work in combination together, I think. Yeah. For you as an artist, to really keep pushing and promoting yourself. And I think as well, like you were stating, that it's something that we constantly have to do in this present day and time. You can't just rest on your...
checking out.
Yeah, you have to constantly keep on it. So that's where you see me constantly there. Hey, I'm here.
But you also have some kind of other more...
My label as well. I've reactivated my label, Musical Directions. And so I have a 4-part series album going on at the present. But after that's over, the whole concept of it is about me introducing other artists. But even on that 4-part album series, I've went back to front. So it's me featuring the producer on the whole collective of the album series thing, So I'm taking it that, and then after that's over, then I like to just focus on individual artists and putting them out and giving them a platform. But also, looking at it from another perspective, from the way I came into this industry and how I see, I feel like a lot of abuse has went on with managements, labels, and everything, and a lot of artists haven't been treated fairly, and I want to break that up.
Well done.
So you feel that new era is giving you yourself more control over your image?
Yes,
over
I
your
definitely
career?
have more control over everything, and I make things happen. You know, I'm a man of my word. If I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. And often, you know, people waste time. They waste your time. I've spent so much time waiting on people. I'm instant. I go in the studio. If I say I'm gonna do a track, I can do a track in an hour. Lead, backing vocals, everything. I don't waste time. Either it works or it doesn't work, and you move on to the next situation if it doesn't work. You know, and you treat anybody you're in there working with equal respect, no matter how much you know or how less they know. You come in together equally in the door. And you know, so again, there's certain things about this industry that I hope to break up and bring to balance.
Thanks. And what about you, Trig? Is there any things that make your content, your publications more successful, or when you're working with artists, with events, is there any formats, is there any thing that you feel is bringing more success, or is that about analyzing the situation and just adapting and trying to make something that fits as close as possible to the music that you're playing along with? That's okay.
Take your time, take your time.
Sorry. Let's go a bit more into specifics then with platforms and formats.
Okay.
Where are you publishing on, and what are you doing? Which platforms and what kind of things are you doing?
I use a lot like YouTube for sure. I have Vimeo, I have this little Instagram stuff. But my thing is that I'm doing shows. So I use social media, but my thing is using shows. So I'm in the club, you know. I do live
visuals, basically,
but for sure,
in clubs.
I use YouTube, Vimeo, so I...
You also published with
Yeah,
us.
for sure. And then Dance
Yes.
Television is the best platform for me because it's like a show. I have like 60 minutes. This is my format because I'm doing shows somehow. Yeah.
Robert, you're on Instagram, I saw a lot. Any other places?
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I'm there, yeah. So yeah, I said I'm catching up slowly. Old grandpa's getting in there and finding out, you know.
Bravo!
But sometimes I'm first, I don't know about that now. So yeah, but slowly I'm catching up with everyone.
Isabel, are you pushing your artists to be present everywhere, or is there any platforms that you feel are better performing that you advise them to do so?
Like for us, actually, I think Instagram is performing best for a booking agency and also for the artists. It's just the most attention and the most engagement, I would say. But of course, for my interview and video platform, it was Instagram and YouTube, because of course Instagram as promotional platform kind of, and to promote the upcoming shows, but YouTube because the people could see the whole interview only on YouTube. So that's why it worked out for both platforms kind of good.
Or TikTok, is that's supposed
Talk
to be
about TikTok.
TikTok. Okay, let me get that right. Isn't one of the highest algorithms or something coming through the TikTok
That's
platform?
one of the places where you have the most audience. Actually, Snapchat is even before that.
Okay, I don't know
I
about
didn't
that
even know
one
about,
yet.
But Snapchat is
Funny effects, Robert, on
Yeah.
Snapchat. That's all I know about it, but yeah.
Anything else for me to investigate, huh?
You would do great, yeah. Whatever platform that you're using, well, one of the keys I think is to be present in as many places as possible. Obviously, more platforms means more work, means more publication time, means more content. So you need to find the right balance to do all that. But on each of those platforms, except TikTok, there starts to be different formats, and each of the video formats have different purposes. And you need to keep that in mind also when you're doing it. So this is generalization. Of course, there are always exceptions to the rules, but in general, Reels, Shorts, and TikTok are the top of your funnel. That's what's going to bring you the most reach, what's going to be shown to the most people, and of wide interest. So that's where you suck in the people to your page. Once you get them there.
I just wanted to say what Guillaume is saying is that all of you should get a clone and then you send a clone to work on your social media, and then you can actually focus on your music and on your artistry. So good luck with that.
We'll get to. Definitely, it's big work, and we'll get to the how you can circumvent that and find some solutions. But the more you're present, the more chances you have for success, right? I think that's pretty obvious. But so those Reels formats are more for reach. When you get people into your page and to following you, then your feed is your resume, basically. So be extremely wary and aware of what you're publishing there, because that's where people at a glance will know who you are, what you are trying to say, who you are trying to be, and also try to be inspirational there. And the last part are the stories, especially on Instagram, as we said, it works well. This type of format is rather for participation, where there is a typo, participation with your audience. Try to engage them on a daily basis, show that you exist, show that you are doing things. And again, we were saying before, you don't have to show your personal life, private things. You can absolutely create a persona as an artist. Plenty of art, we're talking about Moody Man, artists are wearing masks. You can create the figure that you want to be online that will protect also your private life. But do not stop yourself from doing this because you are worried about giving too much. You still decide at the end of the day of what you want to show the audience, and let them know about yourself. Any other formats that you are using that...
I must say, I really like those inspirational quotes you're posting.
Thank you so much.
I'm looking at it, I'm always so like, this is so nice, really. Like, and that's that's
nice
something
thing. I think all that you accumulate in this industry and life, whatever craft you find and create, you know, that reflects you, you should want to give that back to humanity. And to just see someone smile, even as a performer, going and performing for people, and you know, at first it might be that nervous energy, and then when you get on the level with the audience, and they feel like, okay, I can entertain them, and everybody seems to be happy, and you're on this ride together. You know, that's a beautiful feeling. That's one place in my life where I can give unconditionally. And often I put up these quotes and people have come back and say, oh, you made my day. You made me feel better about something.
Thank
and I'm
you.
like, so thank you. And it's like, continue to do that. You know, if I'm giving some part of me back to humanity in that format, I feel.
One more thing I'm thinking about, because we need to talk about this. We come from, Karina and I, Dance Television, so we do long-form video content. So far we talked mostly about short-form video content, but long-form video content is still a thing. We have a TV channel that works well, and we have online video channels that work well too. And it's a type of format that does not behave at all like the short formats. This is what we call internally wallpaper TV. People tend to watch for a longer time. That's something you put on the TV when you're at home with friends. And that's still a great way to show your performances, to show how you move the crowd, how the crowd is also reacting to your thing. It's obviously harder to do by yourself. It's easier to go to a festival, having some partners, and we'll talk about this after, to do that for yourself. But so also create that long-form content, the same way you would be publishing sets on SoundCloud. That's a great way for people to discover you and give the envy to go meet you during the shows and the festivals. And what you can do on top of that content is repurpose your long-form content to feed those short-form content, social media platforms, keeping in mind the 3 pillars that I told you before. Don't try to make a 5-minute video for making the sake of making a 5-minute video. Take that drop, take that intense moment that people really react to, and that stuff that is extremely useful for people like Isabel to then promote you as an artist.
So I want to make it clear what the long-form content means. For instance, professional video of a DJ set or a live set. Filmed with at least, well, it used to be 3+ cameras. Now we want way more. We want drones. We want, like, you know, it has to keep the person watching interested. It's better to do less of these things, maybe only 1 video like that or 2 in your life even, or in a year. I mean, it depends who you are and what your financial possibilities are, of course, and the situation and the crew and like how you get it done. But it is definitely a thing to have a performance filmed on a high level, you know, like that it looks so interesting that you keep the viewer watching it for longer, and then you can publish it not on Facebook, not on TikTok, not on these platforms, but it can go to the TV channel, it can go to YouTube for sure, and that will be something that will stay longer. It will be relevant longer, and it will be like a testimony of the moment of your artistry, or, you know. I think that's really important too. We mostly focus on long-form content, but yeah.
And it's been a challenge to find ways to adapt that and to repurpose it in some ways that will interest people. But definitely, it's a good asset to have in your media kit, because that's the
press
best.
kit.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have
exactly.
one video of a whole performance. It's fantastic if it's done well.
Well, that makes a good transition towards collaboration and networking. As we said, that's pretty difficult to do everything by yourselves, too many platforms, too much content. So how do you find help, and how is that useful for you to use your network to achieve all that? Isabel, go ahead.
For me, as an agency, actually, I try to collaborate with online magazines, which means I'm reaching out to, I don't know, Groove, Resident Advisor, Electronic Beats, Trommel, those kind of guys. And I try to get reviews, reports, podcasts, or collaboration with them to promote my artists. And for Trommel, for example, they are mostly just sharing party videos, which is actually pretty effective in my case, because if I'm sending them nice videos of a party where it was a great crowd, a great vibe, even like maybe a super famous festival where everybody wants to play right now, the attention and the feedback is like crazy, and the artist has, after Trommel posting a video, I don't know, 400 new followers. Like, it's insane. So of course I try to use those kind of collaborations, and I can also advise this to you guys.
Another way is to obviously have artists collaborate together. Like we have worked together with Trig on a few videos already, and now I'm gonna have a release on a London-based label with my friend Connie from New York, and we're talking with Trig about making a video, like the short video, you know, like the track is maybe like 8 minutes long, and I'd like to work on a concept and work with Trig on pushing it to YouTube, and obviously to Dance TV as well. But I think it's really exciting to also not forget the option of making videos for tracks. We completely avoided that subject so far, and okay, we're not gonna make Thriller, you know, because that production was one of the most expensive productions in the world, and we are not Michael Jackson, but I'm sure there's a lot of interesting stuff and possibilities there as well, right, Trey?
What are the types of you collaborate on music videos, long-form shows? You collaborate with the events to.
Yeah, I do also a lot of short videos. Just like I have my own style, so I'm also like I do like art, you know. So it's a collaboration. When I know the artist and I get in contact, so I have a talk with them. I see the music. I love the music. Then I do something like a story. It's also like
improvisation,
yeah,
right?
Improvisation.
He makes
like
it live,
I
basically.
do live, exactly. Yeah. It's like I'm not like I don't do video production in a normal thing like
editing.
Filmmaking. I never do this. I like to have like a illustration. It's like graphic design.
We were talking about it before too, and I think it's really similar to a B2B concert. You find someone that shares the same value, has a crossover with your audience, and that's a great way to just get some new people in, because you have that validation from the other person that you're working with. So same thing as with a B2B, and it works with media entities like Dance TV is, but it works with other artists, DJs, producer, it works with visual artists, medias in general. There's a bunch of options down there, but again, it all drills down to who you are, what's your branding, who are you talking to, and find the likely-minded places where you can find these different people. Robert, have you been doing many collaborations?
Collaborations? Lately, no, but I've worked from independent to major labels. down the history of things, and the bigger the budget, the more they'll invest in the whole visual video concept. When I've done stuff with Sony, they put out videos, Virgin or different major labels, And then a few independents, but personally, it breaks down to the budget of things, If you have enough money, you can make it look visually more impactful, I think. And then I'm also been in the voiceover thing. I just did the movie All We Want to Do Is Dance. I'm doing the narration throughout the movie, and it's about the whole movement of dance music and how it's evolved from past to present. So
when does that get released?
I just went to England to do the premiere thing, so hopefully it'll come out. But I put my hand in that area for a few different things as well.
Well, that's a good transition to thank you. It's been the second time. Yeah, producing videos on the budget. So who amongst yourself feel like they are struggling to produce video content? Everybody's doing it right? A bit over there. Well, yeah, one of the common misconception is a lot of people feel that you need the best gear, you need the last 8K camera setup and best recording system to actually do some things. But you have the best material in your pocket already. Smartphones can do great things nowadays, and you should never hesitate to get started with this. So, of course, there are then companies like ourselves that can help you go to the next level, add more cameras, add some more people, new angles, new visions for it. But you already have all that you need in your pockets, so never feel afraid to use that, and it's okay to get started with. I think most of your content is being done this way, Robert, too, right?
Yeah, a lot. You're right there in the events, take a moment, between a track and catch the moment of the audience right then and there, and you see me post a lot of that material from those moments, I just haven't got into the whole process of trying to compile it and do all of that. I just throw up little moments. Or either other people might capture a moment and then they'll send it to me and I just repost their posts. So
collaboration. You can collaborate with the audience as well, yeah.
The industry has actually been pushing and helping me, and to understand and make just my presence as an artist more visible, So I'm grateful for that, where I didn't know about certain areas and things, it's been the public that actually pushed me throughout my career, So I've always had an underground cult following that pushed me.
Cool. Isabel, anything to say on that? Struggling with budgets to produce content, and how do you circumvent that issue?
I mean, also in our case, I think we don't really, just for my company speaking, we don't really need big budgets for doing videos, because for us, the live videos from the party itself, from the festival, they're working the best. So to just have an iPhone and to catch a nice moment where the crowd is freaking out or during the break, whatever, it can be so powerful and totally enough. So we really don't struggle about content. The only struggle I have is that I have a bit of extra work because of this whole social media thing, because I have to reach out before the party to the promoter, tell them, hey, can you create some nice video and photo content for us? Then afterwards I have to try to get the content from the promoter, because there's not always a guarantee that there's somebody filming or sending me the content or whatever. And if you have 9 artists and all of them playing Friday and Saturday, it's a lot of work.
Oh, you also need a clone. That's what you're saying.
Can you help me with that?
Yeah, we go to the clone shop afterwards. We'll take care of that.
That would be a great invention, yeah.
But I just wanted to add, this is really relevant to understand that there's a big difference between the stuff we need for social media. Then, of course, the phone is amazing. Imagine, when the first cell phones arrived, they were like bricks, and they were heavy, and there was absolutely no way you could send even a millisecond of video anywhere, because there were just no cameras. But now it's unbelievable. Another thing is the long-form content that we were talking about for the TV channel. That's something completely different. That requires way more professional equipment to make good, This is not something you can shoot with an iPhone.
But still, you could.
Okay, you can.
You could, but equipment has become much more accessible. You don't need the big TV cameras you used to, and the one that you carry on your shoulder. A good DSLR is doing a great job. A gimbal is doing a great job also for crowd shots. So things are becoming more and more accessible. But as we said before, you should be focusing on your music, on your performance, and then when you want to reach that to that level, get the right people to do it. And you don't have to be spending thousands and thousands of euros or dollars to actually access that. It's about being clever on what you can actually do with that.
Make sure you have some good friends in your life
Exactly.
to support you, and they're 100% behind you. That's the most important thing to me these days. And as an artist, these days you have to be full on to understand exactly what's going on in your career, because nobody is going to push your story and tell your story correctly but you. So this is where, you know, the friendships and everything has to be 100% loyal, and they have to be 100% behind you and you there for them, and vice versa.
So true.
Time for questions. I'm just going to add very quickly that part then before we go to questions. Is anyone monetizing their music through videos on Instagram, TikTok, and so on? Okay, that's maybe something you should be looking into, because as we've seen, plenty of videos are being viewed, plenty of watch time, and every single video that is synchronizing your music with it should be giving you back some royalties. And a lot of artists are just completely not caring about this, and I've been working...
Just don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. We care. We don't know.
It's on purpose. They are not making it easy so that they can keep that money for you. But again, if you do get successes on social media, just make sure that you are going to claim that. Register your music to the right societies. When it's being played on TV, you should get money also for that. It's not always easy to do it by yourself, but there are plenty of companies, services that
Make sure that your music is published through reputable companies as
Exactly.
well, you know.
Exactly.
And you're collecting the different areas of publishing, you know.
Even though
PRS,
today
et
most of the income, I
cetera.
think, for the artists are coming from the events and the performance themselves, there is big money to be done out there. So just make sure that everything is legit, you registered everything as well as possible, and you're keeping an eye on what's happening there, not to miss any financial opportunities, because that could change your career at the end of the day. And that's it for there. Any questions from the audience?
Maybe somebody wants to know where to get a clone.
So I have a question. So we're in Berlin, and I run a party here, and the problem we have here. Oh, hi guys. So the problem we have here, because we're in Berlin, we're not allowed to take videos in the clubs. So that is always difficult, because if you're running a party, what would you suggest how to continue promoting? I mean, we do, of course, flyers and all of these kind of things and videos and everything else to promote it beforehand, but to be able to promote it, let's say, during or after, it's difficult because we are not allowed to take pictures or videos.
But they don't stop you from recording the sound.
Yeah, that's what we do.
So you can actually record the sound and the live feeling from the room. You know, I've even at Sisyphos, a bunch of places, Kit Kat, I got residencies, and often we record the sound, and you can hear the people like and so that's a good way to promote.
Yeah, that's what we were doing too, because like
One option.
Yeah,
or
right.
also really like some random videos underneath the DJ booth where you don't see anything, but you have this crowd reacting and the sound, and it's especially if there are clubs where it's not allowed to make pictures, to give people from outside a little insight, even if it's like, just like a music snippet, has a lot of impact.
Yeah.
Just a photo in front of Berghain is like super like wow,
Classic.
you know.
The classic
and we're
photo.
not allowed to make pictures inside, so this is it can be enough, you know. So I think you can play around with it a bit.
Okay, so I was already doing that. I just thought maybe there's some other amazing idea.
No, probably, yeah. Probably.
You're on the right
more.
track.
Here in Berlin.
Experiments from the audio.
Not too much more you could do here in Berlin.
Other questions?
One question about the length of the video. For example, you have one music video for YouTube, 3 minutes, whatever, and now you want to have this also on TikTok. What is your recommendation to say how long you should make this the first? I know the first 2 seconds are very important, but how long? What's your recommendation? You should do this on TikTok or on Insta or whatever.
I limit my little clips to maybe a minute or 2 minutes, you know. It's often to just get that instant, like, quick reaction, and then, you know, you can do a series of little mini clips, you know, that gives you a vibe of what was going on throughout the evening or the party or what you're trying to represent as a label or something. The quicker reaction, I think, is better.
And again, that's how long.
One perspective.
How long it feels not boring. And you can. But it's difficult sometimes with music for sure. But also feel free to experiment and to make several of those excerpts. And again, to look at the analytics to see what works best. It's fine to take a 5-minute music video and to create 25 clips of 15 seconds to 1 minute down there, and to try it out and just remove from your page what doesn't work, so that you don't keep in the platform what looks bad for the algorithm, and just experiment through that. Just take those different things. On Facebook now you can also do A/B testings of videos, so you can publish those 2 videos at once. It will just push the one that is performing the best. So really use these tools to do that.
So Meta, yeah?
Meta, sorry, man. Any other questions? Seems like it is. Of course.
Yeah, to Robert, because he mentioned that there are a lot of things in the industry that you would like to break up or stop that's happening, bad things. I'd just like to know, how do you intend to do this, or what plans do you have to break these things up?
Well, you have to lead by example. You know, often, you know, I tell people I can't tell you how to do something. I can show you a different perspective of how it's been done. You know, so even simple as making deals with artists, and if I meet you with a 50-50 plan, you know, and we're both equally receiving every benefit from that project equally, you know, that's me showing you a different perspective, you know, from what I received in the past. You know, so it's all about me looking back and seeing how I was treated as an artist coming up, you know, and not crying over spilled milk, but showing a different example to artists. So I have a lot of knowledge from past to present, where I'm constantly making deals with people. So it's looking at it from that, you know, viewpoint.
I mean, like labels just not being cool with you and they sign you
Their
up.
whole concept is to take everything away from you. If you don't know what's going
no
on
rights,
in the whole
no
contractual
nothing.
thing,
Give
you
away
know,
everything.
maturity, you know, taking your material away for life and stuff is usually a standard thing that's written in contracts. So you as an artist have to understand all of these different things that's written within these contracts, and how just one word can change a whole sentence and, you know, take away all of your rights for life, you know. So it's important to, you know, you're working with people that care about you and would instantly say, no, this isn't fair, you know. And so many times with, I won't name labels, I've stopped artists from making this mistake, even in projects that they were doing, you know, beyond what I'm trying to do with my own label, you know. If you're coming to my life and, you know, I see something wrong, I'm going to bring this up. And not looking at everything that I do or help an artist for as I want some benefit from it. I need to get something out of it. You know, I've never been like that. If I could help you and you catapult above me, I'm going to be grateful that I just met you and I've known you, that I had a part in your road, that, you know, we shared a moment of contentment, happiness, learning, productivity. Thank you.
Thanks everyone. I hope it's been insightful. Have a good day.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah.